Hey there, folks. It's Jimmy Stewart here, hoping this is finding you all doing well. Yes, I got my head lowered a little bit, just in time for the fall, winter. In today's video, I wanted, and I was planning on showing you another guitar that I wanted to try to compare the LS to, that I think compares a little bit more to it, as I brought up on the first comparison video. I was going to do that this week, but then a surprise came along, and I was surprised in a couple of ways. First, yes, you see it. In fact, you probably saw it in the thumbnail. It's empty guitar stand, and if anybody's been on this channel for the last couple of years, you know exactly what that means, folks. What does it mean? It is New Guitar Day. Yes, indeed. New Guitar Day once again here at the studio. And before we get to what that guitar is, let me give you a little story. I wasn't going to buy another guitar. I swear to God, we're getting up there, as you know. And but it was one of those deals where I couldn't pass it up. You know how that goes, folks. I've always said here on the channel, if you find a really good sale and it's a guitar that you've been looking for and been hesitating on, maybe because of the price, or you just feel like you didn't need another one, I just couldn't pass it up. It was on sale. What you gonna do? You're gonna have to, you're gonna buy it, okay? I mean, that's what I do anyway. And before we get to it, let me go ahead and I'll go back and show you the B-roll from when it arrived yesterday. And just a quick box opening. It'll give you a clue. Let's take a look. And here we are with B-roll time at the studio here, folks. Look at this. Something very new for New Guitar Day. Something I've never had here. Took me a long time to get onto the Gretsch bandwagon, but we're going to try it out. Let's see what we got here. Really well packaged, it appears. This is going to take two hands, so let me unbox this and we'll get a good shot of it. New Guitar Day here in the studio. Yeah, really boxed nicely. Lots of foam, lots of protection, which is a great thing to see. Nice job, Gretsch. Ooh, baby. Look at there. Wow. Okay. End of B-roll time. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that. I kind of clipped it together. Odin was sleeping someplace. He did not come down for the box opening. We're sorry. We'll bring him back next time, perhaps. But I'm talking about this guy right here. And this is a first for the studio here. This is my first Gretsch that I've ever had. Now, I've looked at Gretsches for a number of years, way back when. They were always way too expensive for me to get, and it really wasn't my niche of guitar back when I was doing a lot of shows. I did have an ES335 back in the day, early 70s. I bought the 335 stereo with the Veritone, by the way, and I ended up selling that, but I never did go back to a semi-hollow after that. And this is a semi-hollow. This is called the Streamliner G2655. It is a smaller bodied semi-hollow, not the size of a 335, more of the size of a 339, maybe even a little bit smaller than that. This is the Streamliner series from Gretsch, and as people probably already know, Gretsch has different tiers of guitars. You know, think of it as the Epiphone of Gibson, something like that. You know, these are made in Indonesia. They're their budget line, and then you get into the Electromatics and into the Jets and things like that, and the White Falcons and all those kind of guitars, which are very, very expensive. But this is their budget line. Again, made in Indonesia. The other more expensive lines are made in Japan, and some are made in Korea. This is a really cool guitar, and what I really wanted to get on this when I looked at it was that this has got a, they call it a midnight sapphire finish. It's a sparkly, but not real sparkly, and it's kind of changes color between almost black from a different angle to a greenish blue. That sapphire color is really, really cool. It is a hardtail. You can see that they put the Gretsch V tailpiece on here. This has got a pair of Broadtron pickups, Gretsch Broadtrons, the BT2S pickups, and they're basically a humbucker, the Gretsch version of a humbucker, but these have been wound a little bit different on the Broadtrons compared to, say, for instance, the Filtertrons and things like that. These have a bit more grunt to them, so they're kind of a cross between a humbucker and a P90 with a, you know, with the hum cancellation of a humbucker. You've got a really cool Gretsch engraved 3-ply tortoise shell pickguard on here. Another thing that's cool about the Gretsches that they do a little bit differently, this has got a volume control for each pickup with a master tone and then a master volume. So you can actually set your pickups up, you know, set the volume on the neck pickup, set the volume and tones on the bridge pickup, and then use the master to turn them both up and down, so you can actually do some mixing of the pickups together with your normal 3-way switch up here. It is a 24/75 scale like a Gibson. This is a laminated maple body with your F-holes, of course. It has got a NATO neck. NATO is a type of mahogany neck, and it's got a Indian laurel fretboard with your big jumbo markers, a synthetic bone nut, your normal Gretsch headstock, and what's really cool again is you've got binding on both front and back, and you get the purfling on the front. It is, you know, an aged white to a black to an aged white, and the binding goes all the way up the neck and of course up through the headstock as well. So it looks really, really nice. It is a set neck guitar, of course, and a gloss finish. Standard die-cast style tuners that Gretsch uses on the tuning keys. Just cool. Weight. Again, I like it because, again, going along with the LS and the Ivies and all that kind of, the IYVs, it's got a nice weight to it. It's just over 6 pounds, which makes it very, very comfortable to play. You're looking at a 43 millimeter up here. It's 42.86, I believe, is what it actually comes out to. And these are a 12-inch radius neck. So we'll give you the up close and personal, of course, as we always do here on the channel, of the new Gretsch Streamliner G2655. Let's have a look. Okay, folks, so here we are on the up close and personal on the new Gretsch G2655. This is their Streamliner series. This is called the Center Block Junior double cut guitar with the midnight sapphire finish. As you can see, this is a double cutaway. It is a gloss finish. The guitar is made of laminated maple. It's a laminated maple body, arched on both back and front, with the aged white binding, and you can see the perfing on the binding here as I get up close. You can see it's aged white to black to aged white. Very cool guitar. Not a full body like a 335. It's smaller. Smaller than even a 339. It's a small arch top semi-hollow. What's cool about this is, as you can see, those black vintage knobs, they almost blend into the guitar. You can barely see them. You've got a volume control for each pickup with a master tone and a master volume up here on the bout. A 3-ply tortoiseshell pick guard with the Gretsch logo there etched on. You can see they use a Gretsch V-style stop bar. They call it a Gretsch automatic bridge, basically a TOM. And this has got a dual set of Broadtrons. These are the BT2S Broadtron pickups from Gretsch. Basically a humbucker, a Gretsch version of the humbucker, but wound a little differently. They're not the Filtertrons, but they're kind of a cross between a PAF humbucker and almost like a P90 with noise cancellation. 3-way switch up here. As we go up the neck, you got a 22 fret NATO neck, which is a type of mahogany with a Indian laurel fretboard. 22 medium jumbo frets with the large Gretsch Perloid fret markers. The neck is very nice on this. It is a U-shaped neck, soft U they call it, with a synthetic bone nut and your classic Gretsch headstock. The logo again in gold on the top. You can see the binding goes up the headstock and around, binding on both front and back. 2475 scale. Similar to a Gibson. I'm going to go ahead and spin the guitar around so you can get a look at the back. You can see the arch in the back. The cool color, it's almost black in some light. Green, blue. It's a fixed neck, of course. Again, you can see that purfling. Gloss finish on it. Very cool guitar from Gretsch, the Streamliner series. This is their budget series. The guitar is 1.75 inches thick. Again, small. You see it from that side. Very cool looking guitar and very well done. This one came out of the box just beautifully. There's no mars, no scratches, no buffing marks. The neck is very smooth, nice smooth frets. No dry fingerboard. Just a nice job. Comes strung with the Dario 1046s. I prefer 9s, but I'm going to leave the 10s on there for now because they feel fine. There it is, up close and personal on the Gretsch G2655 Streamliner. This in Midnight Sapphire. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed the up close and personal on the Streamliner G2655. Now this is right out of the box. I haven't done anything to this guitar. Setup is very, very nice. Somebody did take their time. And again, if you looked in the unboxing part of that video there, you'll see that it did come with all the warranty cards, the actual pre-check, the serial number is signed by a bunch of different people. This was done on 4/26/23, so April 26th. The inspection and all that stuff was done, and this was boxed up and ready to go. So nice job by the folks at Gretsch. All the warranty information and stuff that came with the guitar. Very, very cool. All right, so I tuned it up. We're going to have a quick listen to it. And I'm gonna, I mean, it sounds great unplugged. And again, you've got 2 volumes, a master tone, and then a master volume here with your 3-way switch. So we're gonna run it through the monoprice, 15 watt right here. I've got both volumes in tone up. The master volume is right here. Wow. I'm in the middle. Very clean sounding guitar. Go up to the neck. To the bridge. Master tone has got, yeah, it's pot feels very good. That's the neck. That would be the It's nice how you can blend those pickups and then use your master volume, you know, if you wanted to do like swells or something like that. Now, I believe this comes strung with 1046s, at least that's what it says in the spec sheet. And I believe these are D'Addario strings. So the strings feel very, very good. The fretwork on this is very, very nice. No sharp edges at all. Fingerboard feels really, really good. Again, it's an Indian laurel board. It feels fine. Very nice. There is no imperfections on this guitar at all. It came out of the box really, really nice. So again, congratulations to Gretsch for putting out such a nice instrument at a very affordable price. Now, if you look online, where I was looking at these, they're going to range from $450 to the cheapest I saw was there was a sale on Sweetwater there for a while. I think they had well, they're not this particular color, but they had some at $399. But I was able to pick this up at a great price. I got this guitar, folks, for $249 shipped to the house. So, wow. You know, again, couldn't pass it up. Let's put a little snot on it and see how it reacts to that. Nice. It's got a nice bottom end and a nice clean top end, kind of Gretschy sounding, you know, when you consider. Very, very nice. I like the feel of the neck. The neck is a sort of a, I think they described it as a shallow U or a soft U. It feels good. Action is set up very, very good. I'm looking, again, this is right out of the box, folks. Nothing has been done on my end. And let's check it out real quick. So on the 12th fret is between 1.25 and 150. The high E between 1.25 and 1.50. It's right around 1.50. So I think, again, I'll probably restring this. I'm going to leave these original strings on for now because they're fine. I'm not getting any black finger or any of that kind of stuff. But I prefer 9, so I'll go ahead and leave the 10s on until it needs to have strings, and then I can bring that action down just slightly if I need to. You know, since George Harrison walked out on stage, you know, back in '63, '64, with the Gretsch, I always wanted to grab one, and you know, like I said, it wasn't really my style of guitar, but lately I've got a lot of the semi-hollows and a lot of the 335 styles and a lot of thin lines and the Telly style and everything. And so I figured, well, you know, if I'm going to grab another guitar, I'm going to grab a Gretsch. And I did. I started with this one, with their budget line. Again, at $450, it is at the top of, in my opinion, at the, you know, in that top tier of budget guitars. Basically, after $500, you start getting into mid tier, and then of course go up from there. So this is at the top of that budget market for me. But for the price I got it at, I just couldn't refuse it. So. Well, I was saying about George, ever since I remember, you know, he had to, he used to play that Gretsch all the time, and of course he played Fenders and what have you as well, but oh wow, let's try to do that. Yeah, I found it interesting. I was reading an article the other day about the beginning of the Beatles' Hard Day's Night. It was April of '64, I think they recorded that. And there's still controversy. There's still a lot of talk about the opening chord, you know, that big opening chord of Hard Day's Night. And I know they did an interview with George back before he passed. He said he was just basically playing an F with a G top. So an F with a G. You know, some people said it was a G suspended or G7 suspended 4, which is like this, or a D suspended, or a D suspended 4th, which is what I'm playing. But it was a combination of all those things, you know, and then George Martin on the piano adding D's and G's and C's and F's, and I think Paul McCartney played a D line on his bass guitar for that opening piece, up, you know, up here. So I'm including the D. Anyway, it was a combination of all the things. Randy Bachman from Bachman Turner Overdrive did this whole thing about with George Martin's son. I guess when they were Giles Martin invited him over as he was, you know, deconstructing stuff to put together for that whole Love project, you know. But they kind of figured it out. It's a whole blend of all those things that kind of make that big opening chord. But if you're just a single guitar player, you know, playing acoustic open night or something like that, and you want to do it, D sus 4, I think it's about as close as you'll get on your own without adding all the other stuff. Let's go ahead and do that. Let's give it a try. I built a little background guitar piece along with some drums on the looper, and just to see how kind of ringing we can get. And I'll even try the old George lead part. Now remember, the George lead part was like this. But he was doing it with George Martin doubling it on piano. And did you know that they actually did that track? They dropped the speed of the tape down, so when they played it like that, and then they spun it, they increased the speed and spun it up for the actual tape recording. So it's George on piano, George Martin, and George Harrison on guitar doubling, which is kind of cool. Yeah. Let's try playing it, and I'll do the opening piece, and then I'll come in with the looper like this. All right. Okay, so that was fun. And that's basically what I'm going to tell you about the Gretsch G2655, the Streamliner from the good folks at Gretsch. I think Gretsch has been bought by Fender now, correct? So, I mean, but they're still got the brand out there. And again, they're making them. These are made in Indonesia. I will show you the picture of the inside of the sticker here on mine, right here. So if you're in the market for a Gretsch, take a look around. There's some sales going on if you dig deep, and you might be able to pick up something like this, or even the Electromatic series if you want to spend some more money. But I really think for the money for something like this guitar, it is well done. It is a beautiful finish, very nicely made guitar. Of course, to keep the price down, they don't put the Filtertrons in here. They put in the Broadtrons, and I think what I can hear from them, I like them. They sound good, and they cut down on the hardware and things like that to keep the price down. But I really like how they did this guitar. It is very, very nice and worth the money, I think, if you can find it, especially if you find it on sale. All right? Okay, folks, so that's going to wrap it up for today. I do appreciate you all stopping into the channel. For the subscribers, thank you all so much for subscribing to the channel. If you guys are still on the fence, however, and this is your first time over here, or maybe it's your 10th time, and you still haven't subscribed, come on. Come on over to the good side. Would love to have you on board. Until next time, folks, it's Jimmy Stewart saying so long. Please take care of yourselves. Stay safe. Stay healthy. Be kind to each other. And we'll talk to you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye for now.